Hello world, welcome back to codingscientist.com. You are watching the most exciting Zero to Hero series using ESP32 and ESP32 CAM. Alright guys, so we have reached a far away and let's see what we are going to learn. So in this particular lesson, I'm going to show you how to build a web server, which means you can connect your ESP32 CAM to a web, to a internet, and remotely through the internet you can control all the GPIO pins of ESP32. So what it means by controlling all the GPIO pins, that means it's going to open up the world of sensors, motors, and other devices like relay circuits, LEDs, and stuff like that. It's going to get really interesting, guys. So you will be controlling all these devices, all these sensors through the web browser itself. And I'm going to show you how to build that web server and host it and start building your own applications. All right, guys. So basically, we will learn something about a asynchronous web server. It's called asynchronous web server with the ESP32 board to control its outputs, right? So basically the board will be programmed using Arduino IDE. We may want to use MicroPython as well, but there'll be a lot of tweaking needs to be done in this particular library which we are going to use, and this library is called ESP asynchronous web server. So this particular web server library was designed for C++, so hence it would be easy to use Arduino IDE with C++ program. However, in the upcoming lessons, I am going to show you how to customize this library for MicroPython as well. We can create a web server using MicroPython in a much easier way. But if you get hands-on into C++, it's going to be a little bit complex, but you are going to get more experience getting into the advanced level of ESP32 programming. All right, guys. So basically, this library provides an easy way to build the web server, right? So building an asynchronous web server has several different types of advantages. Some of them are basically it can handle more than one connection. That means you can have two different browsers from two different machines and connect to the same ESP32 web browser, so at the same time parallelly. So that is possible. That is the power of this particular library. When you send a response, you are immediately ready to handle any other connections while the server is taking care of sending the response in the background. So it happens in the real time, almost in the real time, right? And the simple template processing engine to handle the templates, which acts pretty quick. The response time between back and forth between the web and the ESP32 CAM or ESP32 development boards are pretty much very very easy to handle across. So let's go ahead and download this library. Now, most important aspect, guys, this library is not available readily in your Arduino library manager. You just cannot go to library manager and type for the web server and download library. No, it's a different trick altogether. So these libraries are available in the open source, of course, but we got to do a lot of R&D and trial and error. There are ton loads of versions, but the correct version I have already downloaded and I have put it in my GitHub. You can go to my GitHub and directly download, so that it's very easy for you to you can save a lot of time. So let me show you where exactly it is on my GitHub so that you will get an idea. All right, so let me just give me a second. I will share you my GitHub account. All right, so if you go to my GitHub here, so you can go to the ESP32 CAM, and in this section, the first one, async TCP master zip. So this is another library, and there is another library called ESP async web server. So you have to download both. The first one, async TCP library for web server, you can just go ahead and download the zip file by going to code and download the zip. You can download the entire bundle. And then this one, the second one, these two has to be in tandem. These two has to be, you just cannot download one and you cannot expect that to work. It's not going to work, because this is the supporting library. The TCP library is going to support the web server library, and it has to work together. So that we are going to import these two libraries as hash include and the style of Arduino. So go ahead and import, download these two, right? Once you download these two, go ahead and download this code, right? Web server LED control. So this is a few lines of basic code, which will basically, we will be controlling some LEDs remotely through the browser. So you will understand it as we go along. So once you are ready, guys, let me know. We will continue with this lesson, and do just pause this video and go ahead and download this first. It's very important, and then I'll show you the next step. All right, now let's do one thing. Let's go back to, all right, now what we need to do, let's open up the Arduino IDE. Okay, and then we will take it forward from there. So once you download these libraries, guys, make sure that you have a proper folder on your desktop. You can name the folder whatever you want. Just keep these libraries pretty safe. All right, these libraries are not available to install through Arduino Library Manager. Let me make it very clear, so that you don't have to waste time. You need to copy the library files which I showed you in my GitHub. Just download and go to Arduino installation library folder. Alternatively, in your IDE, you can just go to sketch and include library and add zip library and kind of thing. So if you want to know more, maybe I can just take you through that process, which I have done couple of times before in the past. Let me just show you. So all you need to do is go to sketch. Once you download the library from my GitHub, go to sketch, include library, add .zip library, click that, and then go to the location where you saved. Wherever you have saved, you can just go to that location, double click, open, and it's done. So you need to do it for both. All right, so once you are done with that, and then we will come to the next section. All right, the next section is going to be, now this is going to get little complex, right? So we are going to build a small little circuit to connect one LED. You can use 3 LED or 4 LED, but according to the number of GPIO wires, the wiring has to be done. So I just connected only one LED and one resistor, but you can take a look at the circuit drawing, which I am going to show you now. So if you look at this drawing, there are 3 LEDs basically, which is connected to your 220 ohm resistor, right? So once you can connect either 1 or 2 or 3 or even 4, but for this particular lesson I just created the program for the web browser only to control 3 LEDs. So I would suggest go ahead and use only 3 LEDs. Even one is fine to test it out and see how it works, right? Now once you are done, so I hope let's take a look at it once, how we are going to proceed further. Now once your setup is ready, right, the way the web browser is going to work, basically you can pick up the code from my GitHub, which I showed you just now. You can just download that code, which is basically to create the web server with some buttons. So this is how the buttons will look like, right? So either you can use a browser, or through the mobile you can open the web browser, either Google Chrome or whichever browser you are using, and type in the IP address. So basically, to give you a very high level view of how the code works on a web server in ESP32, the web server basically contains one heading file, like it's called the ESP web server. On the heading you can find that, right, as you can see in the screen. And there will be 3 different buttons which is called the toggle switch to control the 3 outputs, 3 GPIO outputs. If you are adding more number of outputs, then we can modify that code accordingly, which I will show you at a later stage. Each slider button has a label indicating the GPIO output pin, right? You can basically very easily remove, add more outputs. So that's very easy, right? So when the slider is red, when you turn it on, so it means the output is on. So the state is high. That means it goes from 0 to 1. you toggle the slider and it turns off, the output it changes to low, which is basically 0. It's a standard C programming code in Arduino, right? And same way, when the slider is gray, it means the output is off and it states the low value, which is the 0 value. So vice versa for 1, high. So that is how the toggle, the button you see on the screen, is going to work in the code, right? Now what happens when the codes are further triggered? So let me show you some, high level picture of how, a pictorial view of how the GPIO pins are triggered into HTTP, that is your URL, and gets into your ESP32 and sends an output to your LED. So how basically this works is, in the first scenario, if you see the drawing here, you toggle the button to turn the GPIO2 on. So when that happens, the browser makes an HTTP request to get the request called on, and the update forward slash update, question mark output equal to 2 and state equal to 1. So these kind of codes, guys, I'll be happy to walk you through one on one. I would prefer one on one because this gets little complex. So in case if you do not understand, do leave me a message, do call me, do ping me, do email me. I will schedule a one on one with you and take a complete hands on session from zero to hero. So, not to worry. So, in this particular drawing, if you take the second example right at the bottom, so you toggle the button to turn the GPIO2 to off. So, when that happens, the browser makes an HTTP GET request on. So, that's how the on and off basically logic works in the web browser with HTML tags, right? And communicating with your C program, which is residing inside your ESP32. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the code and try to upload and see what happens. So I am going to open up my Arduino IDE. Just give me a second. All right, so that's the code which I hope you guys can see it. Okay, so I hope you guys can see the code. So one of the important thing is, once you download the code from my GitHub, you need to modify these two lines. So basically this is your SSID, which is your Wi-Fi signal ID at your home. If you are doing this project from your home Wi-Fi, you need to put that name here. If you are whichever location you are, but that Wi-Fi ID has to be here. That is called the SSID, right? And then the password for that particular Wi-Fi to log in. So it has to be in the double quote. Do not delete this double quote. Both user ID and the password has to be in the double quote. And once you do that, connect your ESP32 to your computer, and my COM port is COM port 12, and I'm going to select my board. Where is my board? My board is under ESP32 Arduino, and that's here. Okay, once you do that, as usual, we need to press the boot button. Okay, the boot button while uploading the code. So I am going to hold the boot button tight and upload the code. All right, I am uploading. You need to hold the boot button tight. All right, guys, so make a note of it. Without holding the button, your code is not going to upload. It's taking a while. Yeah, it's a pretty heavy code. How many lines? It's about 123 lines of code. So guys, if you have any questions on this code, I'll be happy to walk you through. I'll help you to understand line by line. Do get back to me. Do leave a message. It's still compiling. It's still compiling. It's compiling. Until we see that red triggers here, writing and stuff like that, we never know whether the code works or not. But yeah, it's still compiling. This is taking, yeah, there you go. Now it's connected, it's writing. Can you see that? It's writing at the bottom. There you go, it's writing 100%. There you go. So till you get this message leaving hard reset, do not take out your finger from the button, from the boot cell button. Now I took it out. Now what you got to do, open the terminal, the serial monitor. All right, on the right hand side, click here, open the terminal. It's blank. I am going to click the button called EN button, the EN button in ESP32. You need to click that. You just need to click once and leave it. Brown node detector, connecting to Wi-Fi, connecting to Wi-Fi. There you go. Now the Wi-Fi is connected. Your ESP32 is connected to the internet, guys. Congratulations. Now make a note of this IP address. This is very important. This is the IP address. You need to open a browser and put it across. So I am going to open up the browser. It's 192.168.0.1.4. Let me open a browser, and then you need to mention 192.168.0. What was that? 0.1.4. 0.1.4. Let's cross our fingers. There you go. You got your buttons, but see, there are 3 buttons, right? So the first button, of course, I connected just one LED, so it may not work. Second LED, let me try this. The third LED works because I connected only one LED. Perfect. Now I'll just switch over my screen so that you guys can check it up. I'll just show you my circuit and you can see this, what I'm doing. There you go. So can you see it here? One LED, I just connected to only one single LED and it's on. Now let me just turn it off and let's see what happens. Turn off. Perfect. So can you see it on the screen? I'm just trying to share both browser and the circuit together. Let me switch off this because anyways I didn't connect the LED. So GPIO 33 is the only pin which I connected. On. There you go. Off. There you go. On. There you go. Off. There you go. On. There you go. Fantastic. All right. So this seems to be working pretty good, guys. So now what we can do is, now you understand how the web server works in ESP32, how you can connect your ESP32 development module into the website, sorry, not the website, to the browser, to the internet, and then host your own web server. And I also showed you through the web how you can access your GPIO pins. Now imagine, guys, we can control relay circuits, we can control ultrasonic sensors and read through the web, we can control motors, we can control servo motors, DC motors, and ton loads of other things. So in the upcoming lessons, I'm going to keep building more projects and show you how exactly this works. And if you have any questions in the meantime, if you need more clarification on the projects, on the lessons, on the codes, I can definitely help you. I can take one-on-one with you into the Zoom call. I will walk you through step by step systematically. See you guys. Goodbye.